So I'm restarting my vlogging, and I'm gonna start it with a book that I picked up yesterday on March 28th. It's called No Limits by John C. Maxwell. A good friend of mine recommended it to me, and we're gonna read it together. I'm just gonna do my reviews on videos and post it. But I just got done with the first chapter, and the first chapter was speaking of awareness. Awareness and do you know what's limiting you from your success? So I read about it, and at the end of each chapter, there's questions that you need to answer and write it down. I prefer to video mine, just so I can look back and visually see and hear my growth versus reading it. But the first question is, in which abilities and choices listed in this chapter would you like to increase your capacity and reach a higher level? So, John, he has about 12 to 15 different capacities that he dissected in the first chapter, and we'll dissect it a little bit more. But the ones that I picked two from each category. The first category is from general nature and skill set. So I picked emotional capacity and I picked people capacity. The reason I picked emotional capacity is because I'm a very emotional person. I like to hide my feelings behind, listening to music or reading or going to work so much or working out or whatever makes me happy so I don't have to deal with my problems. And I felt that over the years, that has taken a toll on me and my life. The second one I have chose was people capacity. I'm a people person, I like to say. However, I don't let people into my life. I prefer to be in someone else's, if that makes sense. Just to give you an example, I don't like people in my business. I don't want people to help me. I don't want people to know what I'm doing, but I like to know what everyone else is doing. I want to, know every single thing about someone else. And I do feel like that has taken a toll on me also because I'm not I'm strong enough to know someone and to actually help them, but I'm not strong enough for someone to help me. And over the years, I've been, doing this all by myself, and I prefer no one to help me, and I don't want anyone to help me. But I feel like those are the two things that I need to work on personally. The other choices were emotional. I mean, I'm sorry. The other choices were energy capacity, thinking capacity, creative capacity, production capacity, and leadership capacity. So, for the second part of the choices he gives us, was a set of capacity um, that actually goes, it's less important and it would actually help the two capacities that I chose. And two things I picked was intentionally capacity and partnership capacity. Intentionally capacity I chose because I really lack on that. I don't do a lot of things. I don't do a lot of acts of kindness. Um, yes, I'm a shoulder to lean on. I'm there for moral support. I've been through a lot of experiences, so I like to share them, but I don't do things like, oh, well, my phone bill is off or my lights are off. I'm like, okay, so what are you going to do about it to actually help yourself versus, okay, here's $80, get your lights turned on, or you're hungry, here's $20, go eat, or whatever the case may be. There has been quite a few people that I've walked by in Jacksonville, Florida that, have asked me for money or you know, can you buy me a meal? And I've purposely said no because my mindset is I worked hard for my money. Why can't you get up and go get a job as well as I can? Granted, that's none of my business on why they can't, but Marco, at the end of the day, they're hungry and they need help. They're strong enough to ask you for money. It's a very bold move, and you shouldn't take it out on people when you can't do that for yourself. So I want to work on that. And the second part, the second one was I picked was partnership capacity. Um, I don't like collaborating with other people. I come from a family of four. I was raised in a single household with all females, so I just like me and men and other helping other people has just never. I wasn't grown up on it. Everything was handed to me, so I felt like when I work hard, it's mine, and I don't need to collaborate with anybody else because I did it for myself. But to live a happier life, I need to collaborate with people. I need to get their ideas and help. Get their help to get my blood flowing and rushing, and come up with creative ideas and everything. So, question number two is, how would your life change if you were to increase capacity in those areas? Areas. Describe how that will look and feel. Overall, it would look like me doing random acts of kindness. When I was younger, I was part of a nonprofit organization called Self Enhancement. So a lot of my summers consist of giving back to my community and taking on a team of 20 kids and taking them in the city and like teaching them things and like leadership and public speaking and how to be team players and all that good stuff. And I kind of lost that joy as being an adult because all I know now is work, 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 and Marco work on you, and Marco, you need to pay this bill, and you need to fix this and fix that, and but it's not so much of, okay, well, Marco, like it's okay to like just pause for a second and help someone else out. So that's what it will look like to me, because I have a very soft spot for children in need. I just don't feel like we as African Americans just support each other enough or get the same education as other races, or the resources aren't there, I should say. Um, and how would it feel when I volunteer for, as you can see, I have my DC Scores shirt on. I also volunteer for them, Thousand Hours, AmeriCorps. Um, it made me feel good. Like I went to work, I went to volunteer, and actually people, like the kids, cared about me. Mr. Marco, you're so great. Mr. Marco this, Mr. Marco that, and it brought like a joy to me that they were excited to see me as much I was excited to see them. Yes, working with kids isn't an easy thing, but it's rewarding at the end of the day, and I miss that feeling of just kids being happy and loving Mr. Marco for who he is. I lost that while growing up. So overall, that's how it would look like. Number three, what is my strategy for developing greater self awareness? Who will you enlist to help you learn, change, and grow? This one is a struggle question for me. So over the last 7 years, I've moved out of Portland, Oregon, and I haven't really sat down in like a place long enough to actually build those kind of relationships. I'm always moving from state to state or like apartment to apartment and job to job. But so I don't know who I would help me learn, change, and grow. I would just have to trust in God that He brings the right people to me. Um, but my strategy for developing greater self awareness would be find a nonprofit. Well, first find a city and state that I want to live in and actually build my roots. I'm about to be 29, almost 30, and I have yet to actually live in an apartment longer than a year because I'm always moving. So, like, I need to build my roots, build my foundation, and actually come up with a plan of life instead of always moving, and like always living the fast life. Um, but so that's where I would start with, and then I will um, I will research some nonprofits, meet with some people, and interview, and just see where their head is to see if it's a good partnership for both of us. I've a very passionate. I'm very passionate about children and the homeless population in America. So I don't even need a nonprofit. I can actually do some of this on my own and just go out and just, hey, I want to volunteer. Hey, I want to do this. Or I actually saw this thing on Facebook about a couple of years ago. Uh, um, just a care package, a little Ziploc bag with one with female toiletries, toothbrush, pads, deodorant, washcloth, $1 worth of, like dollar worth of quarters or whatever the case may be, whatever I want to put in it, and just go downtown and just hand it out to people. So that can be my greater act of service just for myself and believing. But that's what it would look and feel like, and that's what I want to do, and that's what I learned in this first chapter from John. So I do want to learn greater awareness within myself and actually help my community, and not only my community, my family also. We don't have the best relationships. Um, we didn't come from the best household, so like me, I want to be like the uncle that my nieces and nephews and some of my close friends' kids ask me, "Hey, Uncle Marco, can I have this?" Yeah, here you go. Send it to them. Because since I'm not physically there to actually give them that nourishing relationship, I want them to know that they can talk to me about anything, they can call me about anything, and if you work hard, this is what you get for working hard. But if you don't work hard, you don't get it. So I definitely want to do that. Those would be the two top things, or top three things to be education, giving back to my youth, homeless population. It really bothers me because once upon a time I was homeless, and three, rebuilding my family and actually having that family vision that I've always dreamed of. So that would be my self greatest awareness that I'm trying to change for myself. But thank you guys for watching. Yes, if I read the next chapter, next chapter is blow off the caps that limit your life, and I would have a review, reflection about it, and go from there. Hope you guys enjoyed.